Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Following a critically acclaimed, sold-out run in London's West End, Jez Butterworth's Olivier Award-winning play, The Ferryman, has come to Broadway, where it will open on October 21st at the Jacobs Theatre, and we drop by Sardi's to catch up with the company.
I've seen it now so many times, countless times, and never once have I sat there and thought, oh, I need to nip out. I want to stay there. It is so rich, it is so it's so detailed, it's so accessible. But every time you see it, and that's the sign of a classic, every time I see it, I get something more out of it, or I learn something more. And Sam Mendes' production is so nuanced that every corner of that set, which is teeming with life and energy, there's something to see.
Look, I'm so surprised every time I come here. I'm blindsided by just the sheer enthusiasm that this town throws at our arriving troops each time. It's just been such a thrill. I've been looking forward to it so much, and it's been 4 years since we were here. Been here 3 times in the last decade. I've really been looking forward to getting here, and it's really exciting to be here. And a lot of people here are here for the very first time. I think we've got 23 members of our cast. I think 21 of them are debuting on Broadway. It's an extraordinary idea. I could tell you the spark that made me actually do it, and that was Laura Donnelly. That was her family's life story, and how moving and how shocking and how dramatic I found that to be. It's the very first time I've done that. I think I've taken the actual events of somebody's life and so straightforwardly put them onto the stage.
It was an ongoing process for me, and I remember the first time, I read an Act 1, then I read an Act 1 and 2, and then I read the whole thing, and I just remember finding it absolutely incredible that he got as Northern Irish people, our voice, our culture, our just everything about the very unique way in which we exist, and he seemed to grasp the whole thing while creating one of the most incredible pieces of drama and comedy that I've ever come across.
And I got the play as a whole, so it was kind of just came to me, although we didn't have an end for a while.
No, we didn't.
But and I just read it and laughed and cried as I read it.
We did a table read initially a couple of years ago, and once we got to the end, the last bit of the story hadn't even been written. We knew what was going to happen in terms of the narrative, but the text wasn't there. But we were all stunned into silence, thinking, "But this is a masterpiece." Combined with the fact that Sam Mendes is directing it, Jez, whose work we already adored, this Irish story set at home. It was just an absolute no-brainer.
Sam Mendes said to us about the first day of rehearsal, he said, if you have any questions about the play, they're all in there. It's all in the script, and he's right. It's all so... The detail is... Because me and Stuart were saying last night, we've both been in the show however many hundreds of times, we've seen it, we've rehearsed it, and yet every night you still sit backstage, listen to it on the monitors, or sneak out and watch scenes, and never tire of seeing it or watching it. It never becomes sort of boring, because there's always... Even in scenes you've heard 200-300 times, you think, oh, I never picked up on how that relates to that, and that relates to the detailing is astonishing.
I've never seen a play or read a play where there's been so nearly 30 characters in it, and everybody has a wonderful opportunity as a performer they've got great characters to play, and also it's a tragic comedy. It's got everything within it. It's an astounding play, and you realise that just from reading it, whatever about seeing it.
Nobody is superfluous in the story. Everyone has a vital involvement and changes the story, has their own little journey,
Even the kids. There's the tiny wee girls in this play who are all excellent, but their own personal narrative arc is absolutely leading towards the end of the play as well, and that's quite amazing for a play, for any story.
You all play.
I play Aunt Maggie Far Away. When they say far away, they mean far away. She sort of goes and comes back and goes and comes back. She's a time traveler, really,
Does Jez know this? I play Aunt Pat, who's the exact opposite of Aunt Maggie Faraway. Maggie Faraway is sweet and lovely, and Aunt Pat she's described as an old bitch, so that's definitely what she is.
And I'm Uncle Pat. We're all brothers. I'm a brother and my sisters, and I play Uncle Pat, who tells lots of stories about the past and wants to keep things afloat and keep the sort of troubles out of the house in a way, and he's trying to support her. So he's a kind of positive character really within the play as well. So it's great fun to play.
I play a character called Jimmy Muldoon, who is effectively, I guess, one of, if not the head of the IRA in Northern Ireland in 1981. There wasn't a specific head of the organisation at that point, but he's up there. And, well, effectively, I'm the bad guy, I guess.
And I play Tom Kettle, who's the only Englishman in the play, and I live on the farm, and I've sort of been there ever since, and no one can quite remember how. I'm sort of good with the animals and good with the kids, but yes, so I'm a slightly sort of outsider figure as well, because I'm, as I say, the only English voice in the play, and no one quite knows where he's come from either. Yeah.
I play Shane Corcoran, who is a young lad from Derry, one of the cousins of the Carney boys, who comes over for the harvest, to help with the harvest, bring the harvest in. And so my character's from Derry and therefore has a very different experience of the troubles to the Carney lads.
Yeah, so I play Michael Carney, who's one of Quinn and Mary's 7 children, and the play is set in Armagh in my house, somewhat guarded and protected from the upheavals that are happening outside.
I play Mary Carney, and we play sister-in-laws in the piece.
That's all you can tell me, right?
Yeah, it's a family drama, and I play Mary. That's all we get.
And I play Caitlin, and yeah, we're sister-in-laws. That's about as much as we can cover without giving a whole plot point away.
This is kind of like, this feels like our main hustle. This feels like this is a show that is it's sort of sprawling and freewheeling and a little out of control in the same way that Jerusalem was. But in many ways, I think it is a more digestible story. I think it's more of a sort of a gripping narrative. Just last night, sitting in the audience, the first thing you think is, will anyone understand the accents? Will we literally be like cabbaged off after 10 minutes because no one can pick up on the register that we're talking in? And to have that kind of attendance after 3 hours of telling a story where everyone is leaning forward and waiting for the next moment is just, that's why I do it. It just gives me chills.